Hello, everybody. Welcome back to the channel. I am the Inconsequential Runner, and we have with us today a real special guest, a local running legend. No, not local, more global running legend, Deb. Deb, hello.
G'day.
How you going? All
Good to
right.
be here. Yeah, pretty good.
It's
Yeah,
really good to have
lovely
you.
drizzly afternoon and sunny old Wellington. Great day.
This has got to be the perfect time to just catch up and talk about running events. As
Oh
you
yeah.
say, it's drizzly and messy. Have you been out for your morning training session? Are you training? What have you got on?
I am. Well, tomorrow it's a big one.
Yeah, Wellington
Wellington
Cross
Cross Camp.
Country Champs.
Heck yeah, 10Ks of cross. What a life. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Um, no, I've procrastinated my run because I heard the rain and I was like, I'm not going outside yet.
Come on. You're
I'm
harder
a fair
than
weather runner.
you're
Fair
harder
weather
than
runner.
me. All right. All right. We'll talk a little bit about Wellington Cross Country in a bit. In terms of highlights, what I want to talk about in this video, the Hardrock 100 has finished, and you can't not talk about Courtney Dauwalter. So I'm keen to talk about her. The Monaco Diamond League well, that was a week ago, and we've got London happening overnight. So we had to make this video today. To talk about the results of the last Diamond League with London happening overnight. Couple of PBs, couple of records, need to talk about those. Might talk a little bit about Tour de France. I know it's not strictly running, but that's what I've got on my card for today. As you say, Deb, Wellington Cross Country, we'll talk about that in just a moment. Is there anything else you wanted to get into?
Oh yeah, with London coming up overnight, last little hit out for quite a few athletes going into Paris is in like less than a week, so will be really interesting to see where they're all at. But yeah, I guess all sort of eyes sort of turn to Paris over the next week as everybody tunes up, and yeah, that'll be the main thing really. It's
Well,
gonna
let's
be
start.
occupying my life for the
Okay,
next three
let's
weeks.
start right there then in terms of, because that Paris, and I don't know if anyone else is watching is in the same world as me. Paris has slipped under the radar. I mean, I know it was coming up, but I had no idea how close it is. We're only talking days away. When it's less than weeks, I suppose you measure it in days. So yeah, everyone's getting ready for Paris. Paris had its run through fairly recently with the Diamond League out there, but really interested to know what you're going to be watching, because there's been quite a few events in some of the Diamond Leagues that are just heating things up big time for Paris. What are the sorts of events you're going to be watching, Deb?
Yeah, for me personally, so as an ex-triathlete, yeah, super excited about watching the triathlon. I believe they had the swim in the Seine the other day to
Yeah.
prove that it was
Would you do it?
um oh no, just no, absolutely not.
Yeah.
Not on there.
It didn't
I
look
didn't see too
right.
many heads under the water. Oh, yeah. So yeah, for me the triathlon particular interest. Still got quite a few friends racing in there. Cycling always, obviously the Tour de France and the Giro d'Italia that's just been. So yeah, all the other girls and guys racing over the road race. Mountain biking as well. And then yeah, obviously the athletics. Yeah, some of those races are going to be really interesting. Or Olympics is always a funny beast where it's just sort of a reduced field across all countries, maybe less so with the athletics. But yeah, those would be the ones I'm looking for. Oh yeah, and the swimming. Yeah, love watching the
Perfect.
swimming.
Okay, well, let's get people hyped about, and myself included, hyped about some of the running. So let's go back now to Monaco and the Diamond League that happened this time last week. Firstly, I've got to say, what a stadium. For those of you that haven't seen the stadium in Monaco, like Google it, go straight on images. It doesn't look like any other stadium. The roof is all kind of like terracotta tiles. It's a beautiful amphitheater. What a place to run. What a place to run. Um, Actually, just on that, if you were, Deb, I'm going to throw you in the deep end. Sorry, I didn't give you a heads up on this. If you were to run in one stadium somewhere in the world, is there a stadium you'd love to run at?
Ooh. Yeah, some like those old Euro ones are pretty sweet. What's it called? Hayward. Hayward Field. Like that's ridiculous. That stadium is amazing.
We were just talking about that last week. Yeah, after the refit too, it's just, even for the spectators, the seats look fantastic. It looks ridiculous. I could live there. I could live there. Facilities are there.
You could fit a few families in that stadium. Like that is amazing.
All right.
Yes, that was a non-specific answer. But
are you gonna?
There's so many.
Are you locking in Hayward or?
I'm gonna have to. Oh yeah, we'll lock in Hayward for now. But I'm sure that. Yeah.
But there's so many. I mean, you could talk about Andorra and just, I mean, it's just so picturesque. Monaco, as I said. Okay. Let's go to Monaco. What a stadium. Okay, so we had the men's 400 hurdles, and we had some big names in there. We had Rai Benjamin. We had Santos, and I just had the results up here. Oh, and it's disappeared on me. No, let's get rid of that.
No.
Get rid of that. This is terrible. Here we go. Oh, yes, Warholm. Thank you. You're here to save me. And Benjamin won it.
I know. They've got, like, I think the top 17 times of all time between the three of them. Like, the state of the 400 hurdles and the guys, and then the girls as well, with Sydney McLaughlin and Femke Bol. But the guys is just ridiculous. Like they've all gone under the world record this year, and this is they were racing each other 2 weeks out from Paris.
Yeah,
and yeah.
Did you see anyone holding back? Is anyone from your experience in this sort of stuff, because you've done some big events? Do people keep their powder dry? Like, do they try not to win so they can sort of, they're not showing too much before the big thing? Because the big thing is Paris. What are your thoughts between Benjamin, Warholm, and Santos?
Oh yeah, like I reckon they'd be trying to. I don't think they'd be if they were holding back, it wouldn't be that much, to be honest. They might, or at least make it look like they weren't going all up. They probably were under, and over like that 400 hurdles. I've run 400s. I've never done 400 hurdles, but 400 like. You can't hold back, because if you're holding back, you're actually dying. Like there's not a lot of hiding over that distance.
Yeah, good call. That's going to be a tremendous final. The 800 meters, I don't know if you saw that, particularly in the men's, they keep going next level. We saw a 141.46. I mean, it just gets faster and faster. And there was a French guy in the race, Robert, and he's always been sort of my benchmark. And I've always seen him come in, second place, third place. I think he came in 7th, because the speed has just gone next level. So
what's his name? He won from like the week before, and he went faster. What Diamond League? It was basically like photo finish between the three of them.
Yeah.
In this one, he just sort of ran away.
Oh, just crazy. And then Hardrock from Canada.
And faster than Rhodesia.
Yeah.
Faster than Rhodesia. Like a Diamond League. That's crazy.
And so you had Hardrock from Canada, and he was leading with 150 to go, and he finished in 6th place with 150 to go from 1st to 6th. That was just, especially someone of that quality, that was just phenomenal.
Yeah.
So the finishing is getting faster. The stamina is getting higher. I think those splits you see, the positive split where the second lap can be a little bit slower than the first, that just seems to be negated. Did you have many 800 meters in your?
Not since I raced it a bit when I was in high school, when I did athletics back in the day. But I think the last one I did was maybe 6 years ago, and 800 is hard.
I won't. Hard. It's brutal. It is brutal. It's my favorite event at the moment, actually. That's where I'm sort of focusing. But what I wanted to ask is, and you don't have to answer this, who knows? Maybe someone watching, throw it in the comments below. But when you're paired up in a lane and you're on the outside of the pair, how hard do you go off from the gun? Because I've been watching that, and everyone who's been paired up, by and large, just sort of slots in behind. They're not spending any extra energy in that first 100 before you all sort of form together, trying to get in front of the person on the inside. They're happy to just slot in behind and I don't know if that's just the done thing. So what do you do when you're on the outside of a lane that you have to share. I don't know. What would you do? What would you do, Deb? I think I'd fade. I'd just sort of fade and just drop it and just take the inside line, even if it is behind someone.
Yeah, well, like, 'cause I guess at first, as not an 800-meter runner, but yeah, just thinking how that would work. But I guess, yeah, you wouldn't want to be blowing too many matches over that first 100 down the bend and expending that extra energy just trying to get like what half a meter in front when it's also it's all going to come together when they all join up at the what is it, the 150-meter mark.
Yeah, about 115, I think.
Yeah.
Cones, it works out to be, and then through the cones. And I always see, the 800s I do, everyone slows down about the 200-meter mark at the end of that straight. It just feels like it all comes back a click, and we're just holding and waiting for someone to do something crazy after we've done the crazy start. So Jessica Hull, did you see her race?
Oh,
good record.
She is on fire right now, like backing up after that 1500. What is it? What did you go to 350?
Yeah.
Like, and then to back it up, like less than a week later over the 2000. Yeah, it's not a race that's run often, but like she's on another level right now, and I'm really excited to see how she goes at Paris. Like the 1500, yeah. Having been able to bring that speed then across over to that 2000, which I'm guessing why she did for that longer distance. So then when she drops down to the 1500 back at Paris, it's going to feel like super easy. Yeah, like she's on another level right now. It's really like the 1500 across the board is really good amongst women. Like think back to was it the US trials where you had to get like 356 to finish to go to Paris. and then the other week obviously at Paris Diamond League, and it was just the fastest women's 1500-meter ever. And then for her to back it up the following week is unreal.
It is unreal. I wonder, and you'd probably have better insight for this, how does the athlete go through realizing how good they are? Because there must be, I wonder, a part of Jessica Hull's brain where she has to reconfigure in her own mind how good she is. You know what I mean? It must be sinking into her, because when she runs a time like that, you must, I don't know, but you must be thinking, I'm actually better than I think I am, because I don't know, because of all the previous times she's done up to now, it's just next level.
Yeah, well, I think I was watching an interview with her as well, and she's just sort of taking a while to process sort of what had happened the other week at Diamond League, and then it was like, okay, cool, we're doing it again at the following week, and she's like, okay, like shit, like this is something I can do. I think like I guess at the moment for all of them, they've got their tunnel vision to Paris. And then all the stuff that's happened on along the side, it's just like, oh shit, like, we're just sort of going to roll with it. But I think for most of them, they're professional enough that they just sort of continue on with their process. And what I'd actually be really good at doing is sort of enjoying that ride a little and sort of appreciating what they've done. I know I've been pretty bad at that myself, when you've had some really good results and you're like, oh, enjoy it for a day and then you just continue, rather than I guess like basking in it a little. But just for her especially, just having to reconfigure how she might think about racing, say at Paris, because that's usually not a way that they would race going off as hard as they did at the other race. I guess she'd probably be able to back herself like so much more than she did previous, and probably might have to think about how she technically races the 1500 as well now, because she knows she can back it up.
Yeah, and there's you're so right, and you're right to talk about last week, because she stuck with Faith until the last, and Faith broke a world record on that 1500. She stuck with Faith until the last about 150 meters. I think you started to see the gap open enough where you think this isn't going to close, and it still wasn't that big at the end. And then, as you say, to back it up, in terms of the strategy then for Paris for the Olympics, because in the Olympics there's, correct me if I'm wrong, but there's no paces. So the paces that they've experienced in the Diamond League, I don't know about the lights. I think the lights aren't going to be there too, are they? The pace lights to show.
No lights. no paces, and they also go through rounds. So they've got heats, semis,
Yeah,
finals. So whereas
yeah,
Diamond Leagues have just been straight final. So
yeah.
that's quite different. That's a very different way of racing. You have to think tactically. You're more tired. I haven't actually checked out the schedule, but yeah, you've got you're backing up with like maybe a day and a half, probably max in between. That's quite different, and that's really taxing. And there are different athletes who can sort of thrive in that sort of environment. Plus, you've got the whole Olympic hype.
Yeah.
So
Gosh.
they become quite different races, often more tactical. So you might not always have fast times at the Olympics, but that doesn't matter. Nobody cares about the times.
No, it's all about color of medals. But so for those of you that don't know, so Jessica Hull, what Deb and I have been rabbiting about, if you've got 5 minutes and 20 seconds, it'll be less than that. Watch it. 2 kilometers, Jessica Hull, 5 minutes 19.7. That is 64-second laps, 5 of them back to back, 64-second 400-meter laps. Phenomenal. Absolutely phenomenal, and looks strong right to the end, which comes back to the point you were making, Deb, in terms of, you know, her getting that strength endurance in her legs, which will bode well for her for the 1500s, and the fact that she has to go through heats in the 1500s in the Olympics. She is looking great. That's going to be great for her. And talking 1500s, Ingebrigtsen, a PB, a PB. This guy, everybody watching this channel, you know he's fast. Jacob is super fast. That is a massive Kiwi understatement. And he broke his PB. So doubters, where are you? So you've got him, you've got Josh Kerr, you've got a whole list of names. I cannot wait for that one. How do you get such a big event that's going to be over in less than 4 minutes? Well, less than 4 minutes, you know, and the event's so big. How's that possible? Deb, what do you think? 1500 meters, men's and women's.
Oh, just so good. Yeah, because I don't. So Jakob hasn't raced much this season at all.
No.
And he's throwing lots of pot shots at the other guys. So for him to then come out with that time, like what is it, the fastest since 2015, I think.
Yeah.
And I think area record is just a bit of a statement, especially going into into next week, where they all come together again. Like it's always 1500 is just one of those, just that sort of, what is it, blue ribbon event or something, whatever they call it. But there's a reason for that. It's just so exciting, and when the fields are as good as they are, and they're always good. Like just think about the last Olympics where he and what's his name? Usually I say that Olympics aren't a fast time. At the last Olympics, the men's 1500 was ridiculously fast.
Yeah.
They, what is it, 1-2 went like 329, 328. Yeah.
It's crazy. It's crazy. Do you when you hear about the 1500 time, do you do a bit of mental maths, or is it just me in terms of how much time they had up their sleeve to then finish the next 110 meters so that they could have done the mile, like how much time spare they've got to do the next 110 meters? And when it works out to be the best part of like 30 something seconds, you're like, that is so fast to have 30 something seconds up your sleeve to amble out another 110 meters for it to be a sub 4 minute mile time. Or is that just me? Probably me.
I think it's just you.
Okay. Oh, thanks for that. Good. Okay. Cheers. Okay. And you talked about, so final thing we'll talk about with Monaco, and it wasn't in Monaco, it was in La Chaux de Fonds, which is in Switzerland. There was another event on at the same time, and that's when Femke Bol was the second woman ever to run under 51. So it is all on for that 400-meter hurdle. Woo! So she ran a 50.95 versus the 50.65.
Yo, so what has Sydney done this year?
She did 50.65.
Man, see that those two haven't raced each other yet this season.
No, they haven't.
And Sydney hasn't come across over to Europe. She just stayed in the US, so good on her. So yeah, Paris will be the first time they come up against each other this season.
Yep. And they're miles ahead from anybody else, unless I'm missing something. But Sydney, all due respect to everybody else, not a lot of competition. Femke, same thing, not a lot of competition. So they've just been fighting each other, you know, across I was going to say across the channel, across the transatlantic, you know, the sort of they're chasing each other, but in separate, separate parts of the world.
Yeah. I think, so there was, I'm not sure Muhammad if she qualified in the hurdles for the US team because she was the other one. But I can't actually remember the results of the 400 hurdles from the US trials.
No.
But I can't remember when hurdles became so cool. Like, it was always the.
That's a really good point. That's a really good point.
As a distance runner, like I was never really interested in anything shorter than 800 meters, but now I'm like, the 400 hurdles is like the race.
Yeah. And hurdles is almost, especially in the 400 women's, is above the 400, you know, just the 400 meters with the hurdles with Sydney and Femke in it. I mean, it's just, it's just compelling. Okay, Hardrock 100. Now, I kept an eye on this. I don't know if you kept an eye on it, but mainly because of last year, especially with Courtney Dauwalter, when she ran the Western States, the Hardrock, and then she was like, oh, I'll give UTMB a try, see if I can get, I don't know if there's a word for winning all three. I know Triple Crown is another sport, but she got all three. I missed her in the Western States. I don't know why she didn't run that. There'll be some reason, but she ran the Hardrock, unless I'm missing something. But she ran the Hardrock, won that, new record. She is unstoppable. What an athlete. What an athlete. What I love about the Hardrock, I'll throw to you in a second, Deb, is I can watch a little bit of it. I can go to bed. I can wake up in the morning. I can watch some more of it. It's all live. I don't know why people do this to themselves. It's just, so it's 100 miles. It's in, I should know because I watched the whole thing. I know the circuit, I think it's Colorado, but the landscapes like this, man, they're doing like, 15-minute miles, and then they're doing like 5-minute miles on the downhill on the other side. I can't imagine it. Can't imagine it. Did you keep an eye on it yourself?
Oh, not so much. I think I was overseas at the time, so sort of zoned out of that one. But I didn't know that she was racing it and that she was well ahead. But then, sort of dropped off my radar a little. But she's ridiculous, and those miler races are just, you kind of forget that they are. So you think they're running so far, they can't be running it fast, but they are running so fast. Like you kind of don't appreciate how, like, if you're just comparing to yourself just running on the flat, or just thinking back to Western States, like those guys at the end of what is it, the miler in the last, like they had a sprint finish in the guys one, for example. Like they are hustling. They're not sort of jogging around for 160k or like the 100 miles. They are really running. Like, it's really hard to sort of comprehend that you can run that fast for that long.
Yep. Now that's a good call, because I think people that might watch it for the first or second time, or not even watch these events, think that it's these people are just sort of, it's just a survival, get to the end, but no, they are moving the whole way. So 100 miles, of course, we're talking about 160 kilometers. It is horrendous terrain. I'll say horrendous, but because it's so hard. And they're running, even when they're walking, they're pushing, the race walking. It's just, for at least 20 hours, depending on Western States is faster than Hardrock because of the terrain. It's a little bit flatter in Western States. When I say a little bit flatter, just it's not flat, just not as mountainous. But to be going the best part of 20 hours, full on. And if you need to know how full on they're going, just watch them when they hit the aid stations. How little time they spend refueling, talking to their crew, and getting out. That same intensity is applied over the whole 20 hours. It's not just in the aid station. So I think that gives you a window in terms of how these guys being, all those athletes, how they just, I can't even fathom it. It scares me thinking about it. I'm crying on the inside right now. Would you do one?
Oh, I think I'd have to. Though
because you've got close, you've done coast to coast.
Yeah, that's nothing. What's that, like 30Ks?
Come on.
30Ks of running. Like I've done
Quick
like
hours,
a 50K fast march, fast pack, basically, in the middle of an adventure race. But 160Ks that's something else.
Yeah. All right, let's start to wrap. We've got, so shout out or just a heads up, London Diamond League is overnight. So if you don't know what we're talking about, just find it, watch it. It's great. It's if you're in New Zealand, it's on TVNZ Plus. So on that there's a 2-hour package. You can watch it. I sometimes skip through some stuff. You can jump ahead, so you can watch a 2-hour, the two hour event. You can usually get through it in an hour, picking what you want to keep an eye on, what you don't. Watch it. London overnight, can't beat it. But as we start to wrap, I'm going to ask you, Wellington cross country. So what are you doing between now and then? How are you going to keep yourself fresh to give it a good nudge tomorrow?
We go to bed on time. Just keep my legs up. Yeah, we'll just do like a little shakeout jog tonight, this evening, and yeah, just excited about doing. Is it 4 laps of Harcourt Park? Oh, 4 laps? Might be 5 laps. Yeah, I'll just make sure. Yeah, good feed tonight. Just some like just probably some chicken and some pasta. Get myself all fueled up for tomorrow. Yeah.
Perfect. And what shoes? It's
Yeah.
been raining. It's been raining for the best part of 24 hours. Is that going to change what you're
Sure.
going to put on your feet?
Oh, well, I've got only one set of spikes, so no, don't have much of a choice,
Okay.
frankly. Yeah. If there are spikes, just like proper spikes in them, yeah, I'd probably consider my spike like the actual spike choice. But
Yep.
no, I've got ones with like these plasticky spikes.
Oh, yep.
Yeah. So hopefully they can hold out for the mud that's bound to come tomorrow by the time that we get to the last race of the day.
Perfect. Okay. Again, to wrap, look, quick tip from me. So I was training Tuesday night, did something to my knee, don't know what, just one of those little things that, that's what I bumped into you Tuesday night and you're flying past me. And I found out why you were flying, Deb, because you thought you were running late for a committee meeting. How funny is that? But you're always fast. But anyway, I was nursing a tweak and I was like, come on. And then so Wednesday I went for a run. Here's my tip. Stay close to home if you're nursing a tweak, because that way you can pull a pin on the run if you need to. The next day, Wednesday, went out after 1.3K, came back, felt horrendous. And I stopped there and then. And then Thursday, took off. Friday, perfect. Today, perfect. So my tip is get on top of things fast, even if it's just a little tweak, and stay close to home so you can make a sensible decision to stop as soon as something comes on. Where if you're doing an out and back and you get 8, 9, 10Ks out and something comes on and you're going to try and run home with it, you're opening yourself up to a world of pain. Anything final from you, Deb? Do you have a tip or anything you want to share? Or is there a new pair of shoes you're rocking at the moment that you want to give, some kudos to because they're doing a good job for you? Is there anything you want to share?
Well, yeah, for starters, great tip. Yep, I've definitely not done that and suffered the consequences. I think I've got 2 actually. Just at the moment, obviously so I'm really great at procrastinating my runs during the winter, especially because I think I can do them at lunchtime and I just don't, and so I end up doing them in the evenings. Hot tip: get lights. You saw me from a mile off.
I saw you from a mile off.
Yeah. The vest with bright shiny lights. I think you just had the headlight, which is also excellent. But I'd saved mine for when I was running along the top of the of Skyline, where I didn't need to have the vest with the bright lights because nobody's going to see me. I just needed to be able to see. So that's hot tip number 1. And hopefully then you won't get hit by cars, which I almost was, despite being in bright lights. Anyway, the second, I guess a little shoe shout out. Been rocking some Asics Evo rides. Yeah, really enjoying them.
Nice.
They're like a halfway, like a sort of long run up to tempo, and they just make me feel good. Maybe it's just like the new shoe feel, but at the moment I'm really liking them. Yeah.
Okay, just check back in on those because I've heard about those, and I think those are they sound like one of those pairs of shoes that tend to fly under the radar. They don't have quite, they don't have quite the looks, but in terms of function, that they are the thing. And I've got, glide rides. So, and I think
Oh,
the
Eddie there?
glide rides are almost like cousins, and the glide
Yeah.
rides are also from Essex, and they're not the best looking shirt, like they're just plain looking. But boy, every time I come home with them, I just think they're the most underrated shoe. I just love them. So yeah, let's share notes on those. But good shout out for the Evo rides. Nice one. Okay, I'm going to wish you the best of luck for the cross country tomorrow. You enjoy that. We'll catch back up, see what's going on.
You're not doing the 10Ks?
All right.
What's
Do you know
this?
what? I'm missing out. I'm missing out. This is boring. Anyone else, you can shut off now. But yeah, I just said okay to a lunch date ages ago, and I'm just keeping the date. So it's lunchtime, which is when the race is, sort of thing. I even
You
did.
can have a late lunch.
So yeah, can't move it. Can't move it. So yeah. Oh, well, one of those things. But yeah, so I'll just go for an easy long run tomorrow morning and get it done and turn up to lunch extra hungry and eat so much food they never invite me back again. That is my strategy.
Brilliant.
Thank you.
Excellent.
Dad, thank you so much for joining us. Hey, thank you for watching. You know what to do. Hit like, hit subscribe, all of that good stuff. Share this, especially with someone like Deb on. Man, our subscription rate should go through the roof. Local legend. Deb, thanks for joining us. Catch you again.
Cool. Cheers, Darcy.
Peace
Bye.
out. See ya.